Welcome back to Speak Like a Leader. Today, I'm bringing you what might just be the most important business English lesson you will ever hear. This isn't about memorizing long lists of rules. It's all about learning how to speak naturally while still sounding polished, professional, and confident. Having taught over 5,000 lessons to students from around the world, I have put together 5 of the most important lessons in this video that can completely change how others see you at work. So here's a quick look at what we're going to be covering today. Number 1, how to sound polite and less direct, like knowing when to say, would it be possible, instead of do this, because small changes can help you come across as more approachable and professional. Number 2, how to ask better questions that build trust, open up conversations, and make you look like a great communicator. Number 3, how to handle conflict at work so you can resolve tough situations calmly without sounding too defensive or aggressive. Number 4, how to use advanced sentence structures, simple ways to make your idea sound more professional, even in high-pressure situations. And number 5, how to introduce yourself in business situations, because first impressions matter. They're everything in the business world. If you've ever felt unsure about how to express yourself in the workplace, stick around, because by the end of this lesson, you will feel more confident and ready to take on any professional situation. Let's get started. All right, let's jump into our first lesson of how to sound polite and less direct. This is a small shift that can make a huge difference in how others perceive you in the workplace. Think about it. There's a big difference between saying, give me the project details, and could you please give me the project details? One sounds demanding while the other one sounds respectful and professional. So how can you achieve this? Let's break it down into 2 parts. Part number 1, use your modal verbs. Modal verbs are your best friends when it comes to softening your tone. Words like would, could, should, or might can make your sentence less forceful and more collaborative. They give the listener room to decline or adjust, which comes across as respectful. Here are some examples. If you want to be very direct, you would say, give me the project details. If you wanted to be more polite, you could say, could you please give me the project details? You need to finish this by Monday is very direct. The polite way to say it would be, would you be able to finish this by Monday? Send the blueprint. Very direct. Might you be able to send me the blueprint? Explain the delay. We wouldn't like that, would we? A polite way would be, can you explain the delay, please? Show me the design changes. Or better, could you kindly show me the design changes? There are actually some key differences in politeness levels. Modal verbs aren't all the same. They each have a slightly different level of confidence and politeness. Here's how they rank. So would is the most confident word. Use it when you're fairly sure that the other person can fulfill your request, or when you want to sound polite but firm. For example, would you please send me the updated design? Could, on the other hand, is a safe middle ground. It's polite but leaves room for negotiation. For example, could you provide the blueprint by Friday? Might is the softest option. Use it when you're unsure or want to sound very tentative. For example, might you have time to discuss this later? Another way to sound less direct is by adding softening phrases. These are great for making your requests or comments feel more thoughtful and less abrupt. Here are some examples. Number 1, approve this design sounds very direct. The polite way would be, I was wondering if you could approve this design. You need to address this issue. Or, would it be possible to address this issue soon? Add more workers to the team. It seems that adding more workers to the team could help. Provide me with the measurements. A better way would be to say, I was hoping you could provide me with the measurements. You're wrong about the timeline. That's quite offensive. How about saying, I'm afraid there might be a misunderstanding about the timeline. When you're in doubt, use the word could. If you're not sure which modal verb to use, could is a safe option for most professional situations. It strikes the perfect balance between politeness and flexibility. Let's now move on to lesson 2 of how to ask the right questions. Asking questions isn't just about getting information. It's about showing your curiosity, building relationships, and even influencing discussions. But here's the thing, not all questions are created equal. If you want to stand out as a professional, you need to master the art of asking thoughtful, effective questions. So let's break it down into 3 parts. Use clarifying questions. Sometimes we don't get all the details that we need. That's where clarifying questions come in. They will help you confirm or expand on what the other person has just said. For example, could you elaborate on that point? When you say soon, do you mean by the end of the week? Can you clarify what you meant by adjust the strategy? These questions make sure that you're both on the same page and show that you're paying close attention. Use open-ended questions. Open-ended questions encourage the other person to share more details with you. They show that you're genuinely interested in what they have to say. Here's the difference. In a closed-ended question, you would hear something like, did you complete the project? This can only lead to a simple yes or no answer. However, if you make it open-ended, the question would be, what challenges did you face while completing the project? This invites the other person to explain their thoughts and provides more insight. Here are some further examples. So instead of, is this idea feasible? Yes or no, try, how do you think we could make this idea work? Instead of, have you set a deadline? Try, what's your timeline for the project? Open-ended questions create better conversations and help you gather more valuable information. Ask polite yet direct questions. Sometimes you need quick answers, but it's still important to sound professional. So here are a few ways to balance directness and politeness. Instead of, what's the budget for this? Try, could you share the budget details for this project? It's direct but very polite. Instead of who's responsible for this mistake, so you're not accusing someone, you could say, could you clarify who was handling the tasks? Instead of, why wasn't this done earlier? Try, would you be able to explain the delay? Polite phrasing keeps the conversation professional while still getting you the answers, the information that you need. Now that you know how to ask the right questions, let's tackle something more challenging, how to manage conflict professionally. So conflict is inevitable in any workplace. But here's the key. It's not about avoiding conflict, it's about handling it with professionalism and tact. If you can master this, you will build stronger relationships, resolve issues faster, and earn respect As a leader, let's dive into the essential techniques for managing conflict. Stay calm and focus on the issue. When conflict arises, emotions can run high, but staying calm is your superpower, and here is how you can achieve it. Number 1, avoid personal attacks or emotional language. Instead of "you always mess things up," try "let's figure out why this didn't work as planned." You need to focus on the issue, not the person. Don't make it personal. Instead of "you're the problem here," try "there seems to be a misunderstanding about the deadline." This approach shifts the conversation from blame to problem solving. And here's another tip. Take a breath before responding, because it gives you a moment to choose your words carefully. Part number 2, use natural and polite language that is neutral. You should choose the words that can de-escalate or diffuse the situation. Using polite language shows your professionalism and keeps things productive. Let's take a look at some examples. Instead of "this is your fault," try "it seems there was a mix-up. How can we fix this together as a team?" Instead of "why didn't you tell me earlier," try "could you explain what happened so we can avoid this next time?" Instead of "you don't understand my point," try "let me clarify my point to make sure we're on the same page." Polite phrasing helps maintain respect and keeps emotions in check. Part 3, offer solutions, not just criticism. When managing conflict, we do tend to criticize each other, so rather than dwelling on the problem, try to find solutions. So here's how you do that. Number 1, acknowledge the issue. "I understand there's been a delay." Accept it. Number 2, propose a solution. "How about we extend the deadline by 2 days to ensure quality?" And number 3, involve the other person. "What do you think about this approach?" This collaborative mindset turns conflict into an opportunity for teamwork. For example, instead of "this plan won't work," try "I see some challenges with this plan. How can we adjust it to make it work?" Instead of "you need to fix this immediately," try "how can we resolve this quickly without impacting the overall timeline?" Now, if everything else fails, know when to step back, because sometimes conflict can't be resolved immediately. In these cases, you can suggest taking a break. You can say "let's revisit this idea tomorrow with some fresh ideas." You can involve a neutral third party. Would it help if we brought in someone who could give us an objective perspective? Or you can step back, which shows maturity and prevents things from escalating unnecessarily. Next up, let's level up your communication skills by exploring how to use advanced sentence structures to sound more profound. If you want to leave a lasting impression in meetings, in presentations, or emails, the way you structure your sentences matters. So let's explore some key techniques to elevate your communication. Adding introductory phrases to your sentences creates a polished, professional tone. For example, instead of "we need to address the issue," try "as we move forward, we need to address this issue." Instead of "this project is important," try "from a strategic perspective, this project is essential to our goals." Introductory phrases help provide context, and they add depth to your statements. Use phrases like "in light of," "from my understanding," "to the best of my knowledge." Part 2, use complex sentences for depth, because complex sentences combine ideas that show a deeper level of thinking. Here's how. Instead of "this strategy works," try "this strategy works because it aligns with our long-term objectives." Instead of we achieved our goals, try although we faced challenges, we ultimately achieved our goal due to strong collaboration. Now, here's a tip. Use connectors like although, because, while, despite to link your ideas smoothly. Add emphasis with inversion and conditional sentences. These are some advanced grammar techniques that make your sentences stand out. Let's look at a few examples with inversion. Instead of we rarely see such results, try saying rarely do we see such exceptional results. Conditionals. Instead of if we improve the process, we save time, try should we improve this process, the time savings could be substantial. Well done. You're sounding more professional already. Are you ready for our final lesson? In this last section, we will focus on how to introduce yourself in business situations with confidence and clarity. This skill is crucial whether you're meeting a new client, joining a team, or attending a networking event. Let's break it down into 3 easy steps. Step number 1, start with a clear and professional introduction. A solid introduction sets the tone for the rest of the conversation. You could say, if you're in a formal setting, good morning. I am Alex Taylor, the project manager for the expansion initiative. In a casual setting, you could say, hi, I'm Sarah Lee. I work in marketing, focusing on brand strategy. Adjust your tone based on the setting. Formal introductions are clear and direct, while casual ones can be more warm, more conversational. Step number 2, add context about your role. So after introducing yourself, your name, briefly explain what you do or your connection to the situation. In a formal version, you would say, I am responsible for ensuring the product launch, and I'm responsible that it meets its deadline. In networking, you could say, I specialize in supply chain optimization, helping companies reduce costs and improve efficiency. Use action verbs like to oversee, to specialize, and to lead that sound more dynamic. And step number 3, include a personal touch. For instance, I've been passionate about sustainability for years, so I'm thrilled to be part of this green energy initiative. You've now completed all 5 lessons on sounding professional in business English. Feel free to practice these lessons and let me know which one made the biggest difference for you. A file with all the rules and examples that we used today is available for you to download in the description of this video. Also, if you need more help with perfecting your business English or personalizing it, feel free to schedule a one-on-one lesson with me to really boost your confidence in any business setting. Check out the description of this video for more information. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.